Hello everybody, it is Terry back in another video. Alright, my tennis fans on the road. It is Grand Slam time. It is the fourth Grand Slam of the year. It's just around the corner. And the Grand Slam I'm talking about is of course in the United States, in New York, Flashing Meadows. It is about US Open. US Open is just around the corner. The fourth Grand Slam tournament of the year is just around the corner. The fourth Grand Slam of the year is just about to begin in a couple of days, and I'm here to talk about this. I'm here to preview it. I'm here to reveal my top 8 favorite list, like I always do when it is Grand Slam time, baby. And it is this time as well that I'm gonna reveal to you guys around the world my top 8 favorite list. Who are my top 8 players? And you know the rules, my tennis fans on the road. As low as you are in the list, as you least likely, I believe you will win the tournament. And as high you are on the list, as most likely, I believe in you will win the tournament. And like always, my top 3 favorites are, I'm super confident that one of my top 3 favorites will win the tournament. Alright guys, without any further ado, let's get into this list. On my 8th spot, I have Jack Draper. Jack Draper, who is a former US Open semifinalist. He is only semifinal in major is at US Open. Yeah, you read it right. Jack Draper has been his only semifinal in his career in majors is at the US Open. He's not coming into this tournament with great form, to say the least. He has been injured, but it is Grand Slam time. He's in the draw. I'm guessing he's healthy, and I'm liking his draw. Qualify the first round, Tseng potential second round if Tseng can win his first round, and then most likely Diallo waits in the third round, a big server from Canada. If Draper can come through him, which I'm not sure he will do, because Diallo with that huge serve, he can take the racket out of anyone's hands. But I will give Draper my edge there. And in the fourth round, he can face Caboli or Musetti. I'm going to be honest with you, my tennis fans around the world. I am more leaning that he will face Caboli in the fourth round rather than Musetti, because Musetti is coming into this US Open with a terrible form. He has barely won any matches since French Open, more or less. He has barely won any matches. So I'm not super high on Musetti, to say the least. But so anyway, Jack Draper is my 8th spot. So I believe he'll make it to a quarterfinal. Like always, never will these 8 players make it to the quarterfinals. It has never happened. I've had as most right 6 or 7 right. But let's see how many rights I will have this time. Anyway, Jack Draper is my I don't want to talk too much about the players who are on my 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. I want to talk more about my top 3. So I don't want to spend too much time on the players that are lower in this top 8 favorite list. All right, Jack Draper, I believe, will make it to a quarterfinals. On my 7th spot, I have Divinauer. Divinauer, a former US Open quarterfinalist. Divinauer, by the way, he has been in all Grand Slams in quarterfinals. He has never been to a semifinal in a major. So Divinauer is my 7th spot. He has O'Connell in the first round. Potential Gaston in the second, if Gaston can win his first round match. And in the third round, he can face Medjanovic or Tsitsipas. He can face in the third round. But I'm not super high on Tsitsipas, so I don't believe Tsitsipas will make it to the third round against Divinauer. I'm leaning more that he will face Medjanovic, Hamid Medjanovic. So Tsitsipas, who lost first round last year against Kokkinakis, and who has never been through to the fourth round at US Open, Stefano Tsitsipas. So I don't think Stefano Tsitsipas will win 2 matches here and face Dimunar in a potential third round. I think it will be Medjanovic instead of Tsitsipas. And as potential fourth round match, Dimunar will face Karen Khachanov. All right, now on my sixth spot. On my sixth spot, I have the former US Open finalist from last year, Taylor Fritz, who is also coming into this US Open with a terrible form. He's not in the shape of his life, to say the least. Taylor Fritz. But he's playing in his home country, and his only Grand Slam final in his career has been here at the US Open. But I don't think he will defend this US Open final from last year. That I don't think he will do. But I believe he will at least go to the quarterfinal. And he's my sixth spot. He's drawn now in the first round. He will come through there without any trouble. Bias, potential second round if Bias wins his first round match. Nakashima, his potential third round opponent. And then in the fourth round, he can face Mensik. That one can be tricky. So I'm not super confident that he will defeat Mensik. Mensik, who won Miami Open earlier this year. But I have little faith in Fritz. Not much, but little. So there you have Fritz's path in his first couple of matches. So Fritz is my sixth spot. All right. Now we go to my highest quarterfinal candidate. And my highest quarterfinal candidate is a former US Open semifinalist from 2023, who is also, like Fritz, playing in his home country. The player I'm talking about is Ben Shelton. He was at the US Open semifinal 2023, a match where he lost against Novak Djokovic in straight sets. Shelton, who won his biggest title in his career earlier this year in Canada, but he won it when the big cats was not around, Sinner and Alcaraz. And you know how I call it. When the big cats are not around, the mouses dance on the table. So he was dancing on that table in Canada, Shelton, and won his biggest title in his career, his first ever Masters 1000 title. Now it is Grand Slam time for Shelton, Ben Shelton, the highest ranked. No, he's not the highest ranked. The highest ranked American player. I think it is Fritz who is the highest ranked American player. But he's the second highest ranked American player in the world. Ben Shelton. So Ben Shelton is my fifth spot. His first round opponent, a qualifier. His second round opponent, potential Busta. If Busta can win his first round match, which I'm not sure he will do. Busta has been a disaster the last couple of years, to say the least. He's barely winning the matches, but he is here at New York competing at US Open. But nevertheless, even if Busta wins his first round match, he will not have a chance against Shelton. Potential third round match for Shelton is Greek sport, and Greek sport can always do damage. The Dutch player, who is very, very solid from the baseline, consistent, good hands at the net, so he can really trouble Shelton. But I'm giving Shelton my edge there. And as fourth round opponent, it can be Casper Ruud or Lehečka. Casper Ruud is the higher ranked player here on this path for Shelton. Lehečka is not as high ranked as Ruud, but Ruud. Where has the dude been since Madrid? Since Ruud won that title in Madrid earlier this year, his biggest title in his career, he more or less has been on a long vacation, and he has not having any interest to stop this long vacation, because he has not been playing some He has not played some good tennis since that Madrid title, really. He has not made any deep rounds. He has gone early. He has been losing early in all the tournaments since that Madrid run, really. And I don't think he will make it to the fourth round here either. So I believe it will be more likely Lehechka who will face Shelton rather than Ruud. But nevertheless, Shelton is my quarterfinal candidate and Shelton is on my fifth spot. All right, let's get into the semifinal spots here. And on my fourth spot, I have Alexander Sasha Zverev. Zverev, who is a backable player in majors, at least majors that are outside Wimbledon, because at Wimbledon he has never made it deeper than fourth round. He has never made it to a quarterfinal at Wimbledon. But all the other majors, he has made it to finals or semifinals. He has been in Grand Slam final at US Open. He has been in Grand Slam final at French Open, and he has been in a Grand Slam final at Australian Open. So he has been as best in all the other three majors. He has done as deep runs as finals. Of course, he has not won any of these three Grand Slam finals, Australian Open, US Open, and French Open, but he has done really, really deep runs there. So his weakest Grand Slam tournament for Zverev is Wimbledon, where he has not been he has not been past the fourth round. So Zverev is on my fourth spot here, so I believe he will make it to a semi-final. His path is Tabilo in the first round. Don't think he will have any troubles there. In the second round, he will face potential RBA if RBA wins his first round match, which I'm not sure he will do because RBA has not been good the last couple of months or even years, actually. And then he can face potential Monfils if La Monfils can win 2 matches. And then in the fourth round, Zverev will most likely face Rublev. And that match can go really either way, but I will give my edge to Zverev. He, after all, is a 3 times Grand Slam finalist. And Rublev has not been past quarterfinal in majors in 10 attempts. So, there you have it. All right, now we come to my top 3 favorites. All right. And you know by now who those top 3 favorites are, but you are just curious to know which spots I have put their names. On my third spot, I have Novak Djokovic. Yeah, Novak Djokovic, the greatest tennis player of all time, with 24 Grand Slam titles, with 40 Master 1000 titles, with 428 weeks as world number 1. Just to say some of his big achievements in his career. And was played 3 consecutive Grand Slam semifinals this 2025 season. He was in the Grand Slam semifinal at Australian Open where he lost against Zverev after only playing 1 set, and then he was forced to pull out and to retire in the middle of the match because of injury. And then he was in the semifinal at French Open where he lost against Jannik Sinner in straight sets, and then he was in the semifinal at Wimbledon where he also lost against Jannik Sinner in straight sets. He's my third spot. He's coming to this tournament without any preparation. He has not played any tennis since Wimbledon. That is not any great sign, according to me. So why does he do that? Most likely because he's not super confident in his chances. Of course, he's here at New York because it is a Grand Slam, and he hopes to win his 25th Grand Slam title. Last time he won a Grand Slam title was in exactly 2 years ago at this specific tournament, which was Djokovic won his 24th Grand Slam title in New York 2023. So, of course, he wants to win his 25th. He wants to win his 5th US Open title. But he knows that as long as he faces Alcaraz and Sinner back-to-back, he will never do it. He knows that himself as well. Exactly like I do. and like the entire world do as well. But he, of course, will be in the draw, and he hopes he will get some kind of a miracle to at least not face both of them. If his dream scenario will be to not face neither of them, and just somebody else taking care of them, and he just will have a forward path to a final, and even in that final not face neither of them, neither Sinner, neither Alcaraz. But I don't think he will get that pleasure, Novak Djokovic, nor him or anybody else. To win majors nowadays, you need to defeat at least one of Sinner or Alcaraz, and in worst scenario, both of them. Anyway, Djokovic is in my third spot. He will face Tien, the Medvedev killer from Australian Open earlier this year, where Tien defeated Medvedev in that second round at Australian Open earlier this year in 5 sets. And then he can face a potential, in the second round, Djokovic will have a qualifier. In the third round, potential Korda will be Novak's opponent. In the fourth round, if Korda can win 2 matches, and in the fourth round, he can face Rune or Tiafoe. Rune is a higher-ranked player, and Tiafoe is little lower rank than Rune. Tiafoe, who is a former semi-finalist several times here at US Open. But Tiafoe has been a disaster, so I don't think Tiafoe, to be quite honest, I just have the feeling Tiafoe will not make it to that fourth round and face Djokovic. I don't think so. That's my feeling. He has not done any noise, Tiafoe. But we have seen this before. We have seen this script before, where Tiafoe has come into US Open with terrible form, but somehow when the US Open has started, he has just pushed the button, and he has been super dangerous and made great deep runs. Will he do the same even this year, 2025? I have a feeling that he will not, but let's see if he can prove me wrong. Anyway, there you have Novak's path in his first couple of rounds. All right, now we come to the final spots. Who do I have second and who do I have first? This has been a tough decision. It really has. I just came home from work, and the entire day while I was working, I was thinking who to put first, who to put second. I was seeing the draw, I was analyzing the draw, and I was just saying, it is not easy, man. It is not easy to put first, who to put second. So it has not been an easy decision, to say the least. But I have to put one name as my second, and that player that I've decided to put second is Carlos Alcaraz. Yeah. Carlos Alcaraz I've put second. I'm going to tell you a little later in the video why. Let's talk about his draw first. His first round opponent is a tricky, huge server, Opelka. Opelka, who is not coming into this US Open with great form. He has barely won any matches. But anyway, he's playing in his home country, so he will be super motivated to do good here. And let's see what he can do against Alcaraz. If he can have a great serving day, he can make that match really interesting and can take that match to a couple of tie breaks. And in a tie break, anything can happen. But I'm not predicting an upset, but this is a tough first round for Alcaraz. It really is. Second round opponent, most likely Bellucci. If Bellucci wins his first round match, Bellucci is a tricky opponent as well. It's not that easy to say, to be quite honest, but I don't think that he will have any big troubles against Alcaraz. And then, as a potential third round opponent for Alcaraz is Darderi. That is at least the highest. That is the first seed he can face in the third round, which is Darderi. And then in the fourth round, Alcaraz can face Davidovich Fokina. Medvedev is in this path. Medvedev is actually the highest fourth round opponent that Alcaraz can face. I don't think Medvedev will go to that fourth round. I really don't. Exactly like I didn't think that Tsitsipas will go to that fourth round and face Diminaur. So I think that Kashanov will face Diminaur and not Tsitsipas in the fourth round. And the same thing is here. I don't think that Medvedev will go to that fourth round and face Alcaraz. By the way, Medvedev. Speaking of Medvedev, he will play his first round match against Bonzi, a player that he lost against in the first round at Wimbledon. Speaking about Bonzi, they've faced each other 2 times, Medvedev and Bonzi, before, and both of those times has been in majors, and both of those times has been in the first round. First time they faced each other was back in 2017, French Open, where Medvedev lost in the first round against Bonzi. Then, eight years later, Medvedev and Bonzi faces each other at Wimbledon, first round. So, and even here, Bonzi takes Medvedev out. And now, for the second major in a row, Bonzi and Medvedev face each other in the first round. And I think Bonzi will take out Medvedev in the first round. I do so because Medvedev has never defeated Bonzi. Nevertheless, even if Medvedev wins his first round match, I don't think he will win 3 and face Alcaraz in that fourth round. I think Alcaraz will face Fokina in the fourth round. Anyway, there you have Alcaraz's path. My number 1 spot here is Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner, I'm going to talk about Jannik Sinner. I think Jannik Sinner will be the first player to defend a US Open title in 17 years. Last time a player defended a US Open title was back in 2008, and that player was Roger Federer. After that, nobody has been able to defend a US Open title, and now it has been 16 years. Let's see in the 17th year, which is the 17th year here is here to 2025, if Sinner will be able to defend a US Open title and become the first player in 17 years to defend the US Open title. I have a feeling he will do that. Of course, I'm not super sure about that, but I have a feeling he will do that. His draw, Poporiva in the first round, no issue at all for the world number 1 to take him out. His second round potential opponent is Popyrin, the Djokovic killer from last year, where Popyrin defeated Novak Djokovic in the third round in last year's US Open edition 2024. His third round potential opponent is the unforced error machine Santavalov. Santavalov will for sure not have a chance against Sinner if Santavalov even wins 2 matches. And then, as potential fourth round opponent for Sinner is Tommy Paul or Bublik. Most likely Bublik, because Tommy Paul has been a disaster the last couple of months. To be quite honest, the American players has not been in great form the last couple of months. Fritz has not been in great form the last couple of months. Tiafoe has not been in great form the last couple of months. Opelka has not been in great form the last couple of months. And Tommy Paul has not been in great form in the last couple of months. Really. The only American dude who has been in great form the last couple of months is Ben Shelton. All the others are coming into this US Open with terrible form. And that's why I don't think Tommy Paul will make it to the fourth round and face Sinner. I think it will be Bublik instead of Tommy Paul. Nevertheless, Sinner is my number 1 player on this top 8 favorite list, and I believe he will be the US Open champion and defend his US Open title from last year, 2024. Am I sure about this? No. Why do I pick Sinner instead of Alcaraz? I will be honest with you, my tennis fans all around the world. Before I saw this draw, I was leading more into Alcaraz, because Alcaraz has won 6 titles this year. 3 of them has been Master 1000 titles. 2 on clay, 1 on hard court, and 1 title is a Grand Slam title, which is, of course, French Open. All right? And the other 2 titles are 500 class tournaments. He won Rotterdam and he won Queens. Carlos Alcaraz, great year. He has won most titles of all the players on the ATP Tour, 6. Sinner has won only one title, which was the Wimbledon a couple of months ago, or last month to be precise. So, but Alcaraz, according to me, has a more difficult draw than Sinner. Alcaraz, if Djokovic makes it to that semifinal, all right, which Djokovic can do, it is not an impossible thing for Djokovic to do, all right? Alcaraz then needs to defeat Djokovic, all right, which I think he will do. That's why Alcaraz is my number 2nd spot and Djokovic is my 3rd spot. But I don't think it will be easy. Djokovic has easier time against Alcaraz than the case is against Sinner. I think that match can be war. It really can. I think Alcaraz will end as the winner in that semifinal. But that will take a lot of him from Alcaraz. And maybe Alcaraz will make it to that final with tired legs. Maybe he will be tired physically and drained. All of those things. Sinner, on the other hand, has Zverev. If Zverev even makes it to the semifinal, we don't know if Zverev and Djokovic will even make it to that semifinal. We don't know. I think that for sure Sinner and Alcaraz will be in those semifinal matches. I'm really confident that those two dudes will be. But I'm not super confident in Djokovic and Zverev. But I'm predicting that Djokovic and Zverev will be in those semifinal matches and face Alcaraz. Djokovic will face Alcaraz and Zverev will face Sinner. I think Alcaraz will have more difficult times coming through his semifinal. I don't think that Alcaraz will just walk through Novak, like I think Sinner will do more with Zverev. And in that final, I think Sinner will come into that final more fresh than Alcaraz. That's how I'm analyzing these things. But you never know. Let's see what happens. It is a lot of tennis who needs to be played. And if we get this final between Alcaraz and Sinner, which I'm predicting we will do, and we will see the 3rd consecutive Grand Slam final between these two, because the first ever Grand Slam final we saw between these two was at French Open, an epic one where they played 5 hours and 29 minutes against each other. In the end, where Alcaraz won after coming down from 2 sets to love down and after saving 3 championship points. And then we got the Wimbledon final, a match where Sinner won in 4 sets, and now I'm predicting that we will see the 3rd consecutive Grand Slam final between these two. So that's why I'm picking Sinner over Alcaraz, because of the draw. If Djokovic would have been on Sinner's path, I actually would have taken Alcaraz. But let's see if we get this final. You never know. Maybe I will change my pick if we get this final. But as for now, I am sticking with Sinner as my number 1 favorite. So the quarterfinal match will be between Sinner and Draper. I think Sinner will defeat Draper. Then Zverev against de Minaur. I think Zverev defeats de Minaur. Then Djokovic against Fritz. Djokovic, I believe, defeats Fritz. And then the 4th quarterfinal match will be between Alcaraz and Shelton. I think Alcaraz takes out Shelton. We know we know that Shelton almost he seems not to have big chance against Alcaraz and Sinner. So that's why I don't think that Shelton will have any big chance against Zverev. So there you have, not Zverev, I mean Alcaraz. So there you have the 4 quarterfinal matches. And then the semifinal match will be between Sinner and Zverev. I think Sinner takes out Zverev. And obviously, I think Alcaraz takes out Djokovic. And then we have the final between Sinner and Alcaraz. And I'm predicting that Sinner takes out Alcaraz in that US Open final. Sinner is coming to this US Open with some concerns, with some health concerns, because we all know what happened in that Cincinnati final. He looked cooked, he looked sick. I don't know what exactly it is wrong with him, but I think he will play the tournament, and he maybe is not super fresh the first couple of rounds, but I don't think he needs to be 100% fresh in the first couple of rounds because he can defeat Poporiva, Poporin, Shapo, even if he's 60-70% healthy. But when the second week comes around, I think we will see 100% healthy Sinner. So I think Sinner will be the US Open champion 2025. Am I sure about this? Absolutely not. But one thing I'm sure about, and that is that we will get 8th Grand Slam title where Sinner or Alcaraz will win their 8th Grand Slam title. Because as for now, they have won the last 7 Grand Slam titles, and I think it will be their 8th Grand Slam title in a row that one of them, these two will win, Sinner or Alcaraz. But I'm picking Sinner. I'm giving Sinner my slightest edge over Alcaraz, my slightest edge. Some dark horses. Fonseca, like always, is a dangerous dark horse. Caboli, even though Caboli is he's high ranked. He's in top 20. Caboli, Fonseca, Mensik, even though Mensik also is in top 20. So there you have some dark horses. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give a thumbs up, subscribe, peace.